I guess I'm not clear on why, Professor. The professor nodded gravely, privately reminding themselves that just because they themselves had known a fact since childhood, it didn't mean that it was common knowledge, especially to a group of first years. My apologies, Bjoff, the professor said, checking the class list, and I promise to have everyone's names memorized by semester's end. The question was, why has it become best practice to include at least one human in the testing phase of manufacturing equipment development? In order to answer that properly, I think some context is in order. As some of you may be aware, humans made peaceful contact with the rest of the galaxy some 120 standard cycles ago. Very quickly, it became clear that unlike most galactic species, for whom learning to operate industrial machinery required an apprenticeship of years of specialized education, training and experience in order to achieve a profitable level of competency, even the least educated human, of which the human governments assured us there was a surplus, could be taught to operate most industrial manufacturing equipment in mere days or weeks. What's more, humans' higher than average endurance allow these unskilled laborers, as the humans call them, to work in far longer shifts than many other species, thereby reducing the number of shifts required and freeing up a commensurate number of employees for other areas. Many humans, it seemed, didn't feel any need to fully understand the purpose or function of the various mechanical processes in order to operate their machines effectively. Employers were thrilled at the many cost-saving benefits human workers provided, and never more so than when they realized these minimally trained humans could confidently work with little to no supervision, which is what almost started the war. A sudden sea of appendages erupted above the alarmed expressions of the students. The professor waved his hands placatingly. Calm yourselves, calm yourselves. I will explain. Slowly, the students lowered their various limbs, though their expressions remained concerned. Once human factory workers had spread throughout the galaxy, many manufacturers sought to further maximize their profits by switching to an entirely human workforce. Why run 5 shifts of locals when you can get the work done with only 3 shifts of humans, they reasoned. Profits soared. But then, a strange pattern began to emerge. It seemed that within a few months of moving entirely to human operators, previously reliable equipment would begin to fail, breaking down in odd, unprecedented ways. Stress fractures, overheating, even having redundancies and safety measures removed. Sabotage, a student gasped. The professor laughed. That's exactly what the galaxy's various militaries thought. To their professionally suspicious minds, this appeared to be a coordinated effort by the humans to hamper our supply chains in order to soften us up for an attack. Further, given how widespread the supposed sabotage was, it was clear that somehow the humans believed they could successfully attack nearly every other species in the Galactic Union simultaneously. But how? What secret weapon could they have? Conspiracy theories ran rampant through High Command. These allegedly ignorant workers had all been implanted with bioweapons, capable of laying waste to entire cities, they said. This oh-so-convenient surplus of so-called unskilled laborers were in reality a secret cabal of super soldiers, each capable of eliminating entire armies, their bodies fighting on even after death, they cried. Those deceitfully incurious wage slaves were both unkillable super soldiers, capable of eliminating entire armies, and implanted with bioweapons, designed to lay waste to entire cities, they wailed. All nonsense, of course. Thankfully, the truth was discovered before any preemptive counterattacks by the galaxy's militaries could be launched. The simple fact of the matter was, the human workers were not engaging in intentional sabotage, they were just simply bored. Their shifts were long and monotonous. They were often left alone after everyone else's shifts had ended, and they needed to find a way to amuse themselves. Many reasoned that all their bosses cared about was making quota, not how long the work actually took. What they needed were a few of what humans call shortcuts to optimize the machine's efficiency. If they could speed up the process, run the machines a little faster, get the parts done more quickly, they could spend the extra time however they wanted. So without the comprehensive understanding that years of apprenticeship gave the local workers, the humans began to reason as follows. Did that safety interlock really need to be there? It was just getting in the way, slowing them down. And the parts didn't really need to be cooled before handling, they were only slightly warm to a human's hands. Better to turn the coolant off entirely, that'd save 4 whole seconds per part. Of course, then the conveyor would also need to be overclocked a bit, but think of the time it'll save. I might even be able to sneak in a little nap. Humans, it turns out, are incredibly inventive at coming up with shortcuts to optimize efficiency, and are unbelievably motivated by naps. And thanks to their cost-effective minimal training, they were entirely ignorant of the underlying purpose of each stage of their machine's various processes, resulting in them eagerly and confidently optimizing millions of credits worth of robust industrial manufacturing equipment into so much scrap. The professor paused to take a sip of water, and gave the students time to process the bafflingly alien thought processes just described. There is a human adage called Hanlon's razor, which states, "Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity." Humanity's near war with the rest of the galaxy revealed a previously unrecognized corollary, Hanlon's monkey wrench, or alternatively, Hanlon's third law. Any sufficiently ill-conceived shortcut is indistinguishable from sabotage. The professor saw dawning realization on many of the students' expressions, though some remained confused. They continued. Bioff's question was, why has it become best practice to include at least one human in the development of any manufacturing process? Well, as you all know, a core tenet of good design is idiot-proofing. Throughout the galaxy, every culture's history of technological development has revealed some variation of the adage, nothing is idiot-proof to a sufficiently motivated idiot. Nevertheless, the goal of idiot-proofing remains, with developers attempting to anticipate and preclude as much idiocy as possible in the design phase, before moving on to the costly and unpredictable idiocy of the test phase. And so, Bioff, this is why having at least one human in your development team has become standard practice, because throughout the known galaxy there is no more motivated, more creative, more unintentionally destructive idiot than a human trying to save enough time to sneak in a nap.